Going on, everybody? So we're gonna fool with this 86 a little bit. Got a MSD Pro billet distributor. This one's got the slip collar on it. MSD 6A box. We're gonna be putting the distributor in, setting timing on that for it to crank anyhow, and then be doing a little bit with this MSD box. Maybe just mount it up. All I got really to do is I got the cord to plug in the MSD box, and the distributor ain't got no coil, so I ain't gonna be able to do everything to get today, but be able to get a little bit done. Last time I fooled with this thing, I was working on putting the alternator and all that on, but after I got halfway through it, I realized I have a problem with this intake. Also got some new header gaskets. Got one of them putting in. I didn't put the other one in yet. But anyway, this bracket here and intake situation. Bracket will usually go right there, and then you have a spot on the intake. This is the old intake. And then the bracket would bolt right there. But as you can see, this intake's made a lot different. It's a lot higher. So what I'm gonna have to do is probably cut that off right there, and then maybe extend it up. I'm gonna have to make a bracket somehow, basically. But I was figuring I might can make it bolt up right there on top of the thermostat housing somehow. I'll figure that out another time. For now, I'm just gonna put the distributor in and see what I can get done on the MSD box. MSD box, pretty simple to hook up. You got this end here. You use this cord, it'll plug into the distributor. And that's your tack seal. And then here you got red wire. One of them will go to switched 12 volt, and then the other one will go right to the battery, 12 volts, and then you got a ground. And then these here go to the coil, which we don't have yet. But that's pretty much it. I reckon what I'm gonna do now though is put that distributor in, pull that valve cover off over there where I can get it right dead on compression stroke on number one. Alright, so pull the distributor off. I got a certain way I like to set the timing, that way I know it's right. And on compression stroke on number one, a lot of people just drop the distributor in, and wherever the rotor button pointing, they'll make that number one. But I like to always make it number one piston here. That way it's easier to keep track of if you got to redo timing or change wires and stuff like that. But basically what I'm gonna do is roll it over till the exhaust valve opens, closes, then the intake valve open and close, and that'll be when the piston comes up. Then it'll be number one on compression stroke, and then I'll drop the distributor in. Alright, exhaust valve is opening, closing, intake valve is opening. Now it's closing. Roll it on over. If you got a timing tab, just roll it over till your mark lines up with 0. I ain't quite on it, but close enough. Or you can pull the plug out, stick a screwdriver or something down in there, and make sure you can feel the top of the piston. And then you'll know number one's at the top dead center. So all you need to do then is set the distributor in. And what I usually do is I usually basically point the rotor at the back of the carburetor. So basically to the front of the motor, which I'll show once I got it stuck in there. Trying to put your distributor in there and it won't go in, won't go all the way down. That's probably because you got your oil pump shaft is not lining up with this here. The oil pump shaft, I won't be able to see it, but you'll need something, a long screwdriver. I got one here that I'm going to use. Basically just stick down in there and turn it, get it lined up to where this will go in it, and they'll basically sink together, and then it'll drop down in there all the way. Yep, gotta be turned. Just pointing that way. It's pointing towards my phone. So I need to point it back towards number 1 maybe a little bit. And then when I drop the distributor in, then it'll turn a little bit. And it should drop into place where I want it. So I basically got it pointing at number 1. So when I drop it in, this should be pointing straight at the front of the motor, hopefully. Went in there, but had it turned a little bit too far. Sometimes you can get it on the first try. Sometimes it takes a few. There it goes. Took a little bit of persuasion, but it finally went. As you can see, it's pointing pretty much at the back of the carburetor where the carburetor would be. It's a little bit over this way, but that'll be alright. It'll work right there. Alright, so distributor's in. So I reckon now I'm gonna, he said he wanted this on the passenger side as far as back as we could go. So we'll try to mount it up in there somewhere. Might just take that off and get rid of that. Probably what I'll do. Alright, so this is where it's gonna go. I was trying to find something to mount it with. I can't find nothing. Got some self-tapping screws here I was going to use, but they won't go in there. And that little piece there is like a rivet that's holding the bottom plate on. So if I try to screw it in there, it's just going to spin or mess it all up. And then that bottom plate will come off. So I'm going to have to get some nut and bolts. I took a piece of rubber hose because you're supposed to have a piece of rubber like that whenever you mount them. That way it ain't bolted straight metal to metal and vibrations and all that to get to it. So I reckon I'm kind of dead in the water for now until I get some bolts.
It got wet. I cleaned it. See?
That's pretty much going to be it for now. Maybe next time I can put the starter on and have the coil and all that. Put the carburetor back on there and maybe fire it up. I still have to figure out something how to mount that alternator, but we'll get it all figured out eventually. Like, comment, subscribe, stay tuned for more. Later.